morning. Welcome to the Universalist Unitarian Community of Halifax. And my name's Pam Griffin-Hody, and I am your service assistant today and a member of this congregation. Our minister, the Reverend Ben Robbins, is in, I think it's Hamilton, but it's certainly Ontario, today for the installation of one of his friends in the Unitarian Church in I think it's Hamilton. And the reason I'm telling you exactly where he is because Ben was really annoyed at the timing of that service because he really wanted to be here on this day before Halloween to do the Ancestor service. So every single word you hear today is scripted by Ben, with the exception of our three speakers that he arranged. So I need you to pretend that I am 6'7", and that I have a really deep voice, which I can't maintain. Our mission here is to provide a community that nurtures personal and spiritual growth, practices inclusiveness, celebrates diversity, and affirms individual and collective commitment to community service and social justice. Today's service is called an Ancestor's Breath. In the time of year of the Day of the Dead and All Hallows Eve, many traditions experience a thinning of the veil between the living and those who came before. Our speakers are Elizabeth Shaw, Tracy Boyer, and Heidi Waddell. Please see the announcements in the order of service and note that today after the service, we have the humanist group. All are welcome. The theme is Legacy. Does one evil action negate the good you have done? Also, please note that our semi-annual general meeting is next Sunday at noon. Details went out in an email to the mailing list. You can let me know if you'd like to be added to that list. And if you did not receive that, let me know and we'll try to figure out why you didn't. And thank you to our volunteers and staff who make our Sunday service possible. Riley Friesen is doing the tech, and today we are grateful to have Carol Westell filling in as an accompanist. Thanks for coming, Carol. I'd also like to say that there was a call out to put ancestors' pictures on the altar or to email them to Ben. It's too late to email them, but if you brought one and forgot to put it up, you can just come up anytime and add it to the altar. And Scott Wood has our land acknowledgement today, and he is on Zoom, I assume, because he's not here.
Yeah, that's correct. Palasi, welcome. We acknowledge that we are meeting today on the unceded ancestral lands of the Mi'kmaq people. In the 18th century, peace and friendship treaties were entered into between European settlers and the indigenous people. Although the settlers violated these treaties, we must remember we are all still treaty people. Thus, we commit ourselves to seek collaboratively truth and reconciliation with our indigenous brothers and sisters. We need to know the truth about the past, understand it in our bones, and its meaning in our bones, and to act in ways that will promote justice. There's a rich literature about and by Indigenous people in our region and in Canada. Many of us have read important public documents, learned analyses, personal narratives, and works of fiction that have advanced understanding of reconciliation. As a member of the Reconciliation and Dismantling Racism Committee, I've started to compile an annotated reading list of these sources to share with our UU community. I invite you to tell me about readings that you are familiar with and think should be included in this list. In the meantime, the book, which has been mentioned several times recently by David Robertson, 52 Ways to Reconcile, How to Walk with Indigenous People on the Path to Healing, suggests many ways anyone can actively engage in reconciliation. We must also seek justice for Nova Scotia's Black community, other people of color, as well as other marginalized groups who also have experienced racism and oppression. Finally, our seventh UU principle enjoins us to show respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. This requires us to protect Mother Earth, our only home, and to work actively to address the threat of climate change that threatens everyone's life on this planet. A piece of breaking news. I received an email from the Ecology Action Center regarding an important demonstration. This reminded me that one of the 52 ways that Robertson suggests we might act in solidarity with Indigenous people as an act of reconciliation is to go to a demonstration. This one will be held on November 15th. Let's see, November 15th at 12 p.m. at Victoria Park. And the Ecology Action Center is supporting it. And it is in support of the land and water protectors at Hunter's Mountain. And it's called Shoulder to Shoulder, We Are All Treaty People. And they say, as Mi'kmaq, we are treaty right holders, but as treaty partners, settlers have a responsibility to help protect the lands and the waters with us. And so I suggest there is an active thing that people can actually do. Walaliku, thank you. Welcome.
Our chalice lighting words this morning are by one of our former ministers, Beth Miller. May this be a rousing time, a hallowed time, a time for each of us to be touched by the mystery and wonder we recognize as the sacred. Our opening hymn is 347 in the gray hymnal, Gather the Spirit, and the lyrics are going up on the screens. Raise your hand if you like a hymnal. Please rise as you will. We now have time for joys, sorrows, and complex truths. We bring our hearts into this sacred space of community and open them up to each other and for each other so that those of us who carry pain might be comforted by the presence of a loving community, and open them up to each other and so that those of us who are happy might share their joy and see it multiply in others, and so that those of us who carry complex truths might find a welcoming space to process the meaning making in your life. This is our communal well that holds all of our stories, and the water can remind us of our connection to all of life and to the earth itself. If you have a joy, sorrow, or complex truth in your heart to speak into community, we invite you to share and place a stone into the well. You might also place a stone in silence. And if you are willing, please speak from near the well so that those on Zoom can see. And that means facing that way towards the camera. And I'm going to place the first stone because there was a call out for pictures to put on the altar. And I've been thinking of ancestors. And I've been thinking of my father in the last few days because he really loved baseball. And I found a picture when I was unpacking of my father at one of the Blue Jays, what do you call it, the training league ones in Florida when they used to go down, and he used to get season's tickets to those games.
I have a joy to share. I'm so happy to be back and see so many familiar faces. Thank you very much for having me today and singing along. It's wonderful to be here.
Nice to have you back, Carol.
Thank you.
Is there anyone on Zoom, Riley? Okay. It is now time for our offering. And the work of this community is made possible by donations of time, talent, and money. Thank you for however you give, and we trust that you will give however much is right for you. Most donate by monthly e-transfer, and we also pass the basket. Today, the basket goes to our operating fund. Whatever your situation, thank you for being part of this community. If you're sitting here and thinking, oh gee, I'd love to give money, but I don't have any cash on me, or left my checkbook at home. It's so easy these days. You can take out the little mini computer in your pocket. And it's treasure@uuch.ca. That last cheeky bit, by the way, is the only thing that I added to the service. Could someone help me pass the baskets? Please rise in body or spirit for our offertory hymn 123, Spirit of Life, and the lyrics are going up on the screen, and we will sing it through twice. Our musical meditation today is the after choir singing the Circle Game by Joni Mitchell.
Thought that most of you would know the chorus. So Riley, I don't know if you've got it on tape. The lyrics. I think so. I should. So we're going to play through just the chorus just so you'll get familiarized again with the song, and then we'll all sing along.
Okay, Jim, you're gonna play.
No, the chorus of the verse.
Right, we're gonna do it instrumental. Okay, we started wrong. Yesterday, a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar, and fearful when the
sky is full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like when you're older must appease him, and promises of someday make his dream. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in a circle game.
16 springs and
16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to cartwheels through the town, and they tell him, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet to slow the circle down. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game.
so the years spin by, and now the boy is 20 or 80. And though his dreams have lost some grandeur coming true, there'll be new dreams, maybe better dreams, and plenty before the last revolving year is through.
And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. And go round and round and round, and go round and round and round, and go round and round and round in the circle game.
In many traditions, this time of year provides a thinning of the veil between those who are alive today and those who came before. Today we honor our ancestors. You might imagine a cloud of ancestors, all those who came before, those in your family or chosen family, those who mentored you or who shaped your life by their example, those who dedicated their lives to a movement or tradition that you are dedicated to. Today we remember stories that show us who they were. We witness how they live on in us, and we consider how deeply we wish to connect. Our first speaker is Elizabeth Shaw. Elizabeth has been coming to UUCH for years when she's in the country, but spends most of her time in Australia. Elizabeth? You can kick that in if you don't want. Okay, that's fine.
Before sharing my mother's final days at the age of 93, I'd like you to briefly meet her as a young engaged woman in Australia during the war. She travelled for hours to farewell my father to active service. They impulsively married, Mum foregoing the long white dress, flowing bouquet, family and friends. Dad wrote to his mother that night, "We were married today in the only church here. We decided at 3:30 p.m. yesterday and immediately went to the post office to place calls to you and to Betty's mother. It was sudden, but you will agree, not surprising. The dashed war forces all sorts of inconveniences, but the main thing is we are wedded and very happy. The wedding was small, Mother, but correct." But then Dad didn't leave for the war. He returned to their hometown for more training. There were tearful goodbyes every morning until she didn't know that that day when he went out the door, he was actually leaving for the war. Fast forward 60-odd years, my mother had been unassuming, unassertive, undemonstrative all her life. "What food would you like me to make?" "Anything." "Where would you like to go?" "Anywhere." But in her final days, her communication became highly explicit. Her mind remained very sharp as she processed her experience. She had been having regular transfusions for leukemia until the doctor said they would no longer help. He asked her, "Do you have any questions?" Astonishingly, she said, "Not having been in this position before, no, but I might." After visits from extended family in hospital, she asked, "No one has told me, but with all these visitors, am I passing away?" Learning that this was now likely, she asked, "Am I doing it right?" When Dad rambled on about some topic of no interest to her, she asked, "Could you talk about something else so I feel normal?" Mum sat up to go to the bathroom one day, but then just slumped down on the bed. So I turned to go and get a commode, believing she was too weak to get up. But then she softly said, "The mat slipped." So I raced and got a rubber mat, and we never needed a commode. Mum told us she wasn't ready to go because she hadn't shared what she wanted done with her things. So I raced home and came back with cutlery and linens and jewellery and wrote down every instruction. I replaced the hospital art with her favourite framed embroideries. I brought her school poetry book, and she enjoyed reciting her childhood poems to the delight of the grandchildren who had flown in from the States, circling the bed like a nativity scene. What good did it do to be grumpy today? Did it lighten your load as you went on your way? Dad talked about having her funeral at the church we go to. Knowing that they attended church only at Christmas, she said, teasingly, "You mean the church we don't go to?" Waiting for death is like waiting for the last leaf to fall from the tree. including enjoying that leaf while it is still holding on and remembering how it used to be. Nothing was left unsaid. I apologised to Mum for not writing more often from Canada. She assured me that I had sent plenty of mail. To myself, my sister, and my brother, she said, look after each other. To our teenage daughter, she said, goodbye, dear. Good luck in whatever you do. After Mum died, my sister and I went to buy a special long white night dress to bury her in, just as she had done for her mother. Strangely, the shop assistant asked for a night dress, is this for a special occasion? I said, yes, very special. What connects me to Mum today are the little things. Using her clothes pegs, I think, Mum touched these. She lives on in the mantra she used whenever life took an unexpected turn for the worst. What is, is. Stronger than a guru's lesson in acceptance, the phrase ensures no energy whatever is wasted on regret or wishing things were different. She lives on in my memories of all the pets she let me have. Whether or not it was what Mum would wish, she was soon surrounded by dogs, birds, and fish. She lives in her frugality, reusing or repurposing any item with a potential future life. And she lives on in never having criticised anyone or complained about anything, a tough practice to uphold. On a cheerier note, I brought my father died 6 months later, and this is their headstone with the Army badge and the Country Women's badge that my mother was vice president of, and this just says they remain an inspiration. I brought it because this is my father holding the first prize winning entry in the garden competition, demonstrating the Sanskrit term mudita, by sharing the vicarious joy in the success or happiness of others. So I'll leave it, I don't know, it won't fit. I'll just leave it outside. Thank you. Oh, on the floor, okay. I'll put some.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Our next speaker is Heidi Waddell, and Heidi is a regular participant in Sunday services on Zoom, where Heidi will be speaking to us this morning.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Heidi Waddell, and I've been part of the Zoom worship group for several months now. I'd like to share with you the story of my ancestor and the complex truth of his life, my father, George Allen McKay Smith. This service is very timely today, as it would have been his 92nd birthday. Happy birthday, Daddy. My dad was born in Sambro in 1933. My grandmother, Hilda, never married, yet she had 7 children with Arthur, my grandfather. My dad being the middle child. He and his siblings lived a difficult life early on, as they were surrendered to the province foster care system when it was no longer financially possible for her to take care of them all. As a foster child, was during the Depression. This experience, like many of the children of the Depression, molded his approach to all aspects of living. At the age of 18, he emigrated to the United States. In his new life in the States, he met and married my mother, Jean, in the Boston area and enlisted in the United States Army. In his 28 years of service, he was stationed in many different parts of the States, Japan, where I was born, West Germany, and saw deployment to the brutal front line of Vietnam. Becoming a parent himself, my dad came face to face with the defining struggle of his early life and simultaneously one of his greatest skill deficits. As a father with no father figure to draw on, and in a household of 4 girls, family life had its many challenges for sure. He was hard to please, yet fiercely protective. He was funny, he did crazy things, but he consistently held his girls to a higher standard than himself. Praise for something well done was in definite short supply. But errors and mistakes were met with swift punishment. He was the favorite dad of all our friends, but just don't get too close. My relationship with my dad was complicated. As a much younger adult, I vowed to break the cycle of punishment that I had grown up with. I had to look deeply to rationalize his past. From an empathetic perspective, I saw through my dad's eyes. How could you know how to nurture if you lacked nurturing for so long? How could he imbue a loving childhood to his own children when so much of his childhood he was separated from his siblings, kept from school, and spent his youth in boarding homes on farms? No, I was going to be different. I was going to raise my children differently, love my dad, but do things differently. Through the years, I've learned much from him. Despite his childhood of hard work, his love of growing things had me digging in the garden at age 11. I even made a solemn promise to tend the plants that he had so lovingly planted before he left for Vietnam. In my mind, those plants had to live to bring my daddy back. His infectious love of all things Celtic, mostly bagpipes, colors my music choices to this day. And his endless walking and wandering, is there any reason why I love to hike? And he always came home to Nova Scotia. The only vacations we ever took from the States were down east. Load up the VW bus, drive through Maine and New Brunswick to Nova Scotia, visit all the aunts and uncles and cousins and my 2 sets of grandparents, as both his mother and father had married others at that point. Stories told and retold, stones rolled over, and of course, the biggest stone to overturn was to unbalance balancing rock. Most people knew him as Smitty or Allen. Records had his last name as Smith, yet some called him by his mother's name, McKay or Mackay. To me, he is Daddy, someone I learned to love, but freed myself by forgiving him. His life lessons also became mine. At the end, when his body could go no further, he gave me the courage and the strength to sing Amazing Grace at his funeral. I know I heard him say, "Don't screw this up." And he didn't use the word screw. And I didn't. I honor you, Daddy, in all your imperfections. You did your best. If there's anything I hope you take away from my reflection, it is this. We are rooted in those who came before us, the good, the not so good, the beautiful, the complicated, the misunderstood, and the totally miserable. Embrace them all in their complexity, for in all these details, there is always something to treasure. Thank you for listening, and I'm proud to be a member of this group.
Thank you, Heidi. Our final speaker is Tracy Boyer. Tracy will actually explore challenges she has had in connecting with the ancestors.
Thank you everyone today, and thank you for the folks who told the stories before me. And so today I am going to explore one of the many mysteries that for me is coming more alive these days. So I'm Tracy, pronouns she, her, and I've been in this church for about guess 15 years on and off. I'm very grateful to be here. So when Ben asked me, I thought that it's really funny that he titled it that way, because we talked a couple of times, but when he asked me about sharing at this service, my first instinct internally was a hard no. I don't know enough about ancestors. And then I started to think of a reading I did recently for a course I'm taking called Healing Systems. The reading is about a practice called Hamanu. A brief explanation of Hamanu is an approach to systems change that blends Western knowledge with, I might not say this quite properly, but Maturanga Maori, the indigenous knowledge system of Aotearoa, New Zealand, which spans Maori knowledge, culture, values, and a worldview. And it's also referred to as a braided river approach. I'm sure people have heard of two-eyed seeing, which is sort of more commonly used here in Mi'kma'ki, but combining the strengths of two distinct worldviews as equals into a workable whole. So there's been a team of people using this approach in systems change work. The course, and specifically the teaching of Hamanu, encourages us to think and feel that our body and ourselves is part of a healing mechanism in this world. So they ask, what if you could develop all the capacities and intelligences that are your birthright and reclaim them? These include earth intelligence, ancestral intelligence, which is the one I'm very curious about, Waru's spirit intelligence, love and relational intelligence, somatic intelligence, and healing intelligence, and it all adds up to being a system changing. So imagine for a moment that your 20-year-older self had developed all of these. What might that feel like to you? What might you be doing, feeling, seeing? So this work is also connected to the field of epigenetics, and I'm not going to go into that too much, but here I really believe intuitively that we pass more than just personality and physical traits from generation to generation. I believe, like the field of epigenetics, that many books now suggest, that our collective traumas, the things that happen to us, among us, are also passed down. In all the system work I've done over the years, the thing that for me these days is standing out the most is the need for care and for healing, and the knock-on effect of this intergenerationally. So Ben's invitation to share was timely for me, and I'm trying to step into it, into the systems learning teachings from this course are making me very curious. What is this ancestor thing about? And if I started looking, noticing, paying more attention, what could I learn? There might be a little bit of FOMO, so fear of missing out, as I notice so many people around me who actually have a very normalized relationship with their ancestors and actually channel that. And I think we've heard references to Andrea Curry and her book, and I went to her book talk, and it seems very seamless for her, so it makes me even more curious. So how I'm starting this journey, or I've started, is by listening to other people's stories as they talk about ancestors and paying more attention. This week, I started talking to both my parents. They live separately, about their connection to ancestors, and it ended up being a really interesting journey. My mom shared a lot of interesting things for me. Some of the themes that show up for her are most related to her mother and father, who are now both passed. She feels their presence, and it brings for her this feeling of safety and groundedness. It also shows up for her in places where they all were together. And one of those places is our family cottage. And every time I go home to that cottage, I feel like the lake knows me. I've learned to swim there. I've taught my children to swim there. And there's a strong connection with that place. Even as we move into the messiness of shared cottage living with extended family, there's such a strong connection to that legacy that's there, and that comes through my mom. She also had to kind of push a little bit to find out particular things. So my mom collects a lot of postcards, and shamefully my sisters and I kind of made fun of that and sort of thought, oh my gosh, how many of these are we going to have to go through? And my mom likes collecting many things, shells. But the postcards are actually quite special, connected to her great-grandfather. And she's learned, I don't even know, I think it was passed to a certain person in the family from her great-grandfather. And she's read a lot of the postcards and discovered sort of hidden mysteries about her family. And she's always felt compelled to collect and read about these and share them. And so it's kind of an interesting thing, right? Someone sort of saying, hey, turn over some stones, and what could you find? And she keeps artifacts all around her of her ancestors, so she feels like it's actually something she relates to quite a bit. And I found that interesting. With my father, he has so much to share passionately, from decades of genealogy work, which keeps him busy chasing leads, turning over stones, writing books, related to his Irish, French, and Scottish ancestry. Themes from our conversation that resonate with me include a shared love of what I call my understanding of French culture. It involves music, often fiddle, a desire to dance, to be loud, having people around, gathering for food, drink, and play. I love the after choir when it comes here, and it's just that live music and that energetic quality really speaks to me. So I feel it in my bones. I feel at home in rural places and in places where there is French, which also includes Acadian places through which we've discovered another descendant. There's also a theme of being sensitive to injustice, a level of defiance, a kind of scrappiness that feels connected to the experience of the stories of some of my father's ancestors, and some present day sort of pieces. So we're not descended from the bourgeoisie, but of working class stock. Because of my dad's passion for genealogy, I've taken an opportunity to also walk land with him, hear him talk about the stories he has researched and the connections he makes. This feels really powerful to me, to walk in the place where your ancestors traveled. It brings greater emotion and connection to the stories, kind of like being at the cottage and sitting on the dock at the lake. And my mom can always be found there first thing in the morning by herself with people, kind of communing. So there's something with land and place that feels very powerful. So I'm listening differently these days, learning with other people about deeper levels of care and healing that I think can be more a part of day-to-day life, part of work, and part of how we, in this course, talk about metabolizing trauma in ourselves, in groups, and in the systems we live in, and how that can have a really positive and important effect for the work we do going forward. So I'm going to start trying to do this more intentionally, reflect on it, and I really appreciate you and Ben giving me an opportunity to kind of share some of that. I can't say I know a lot, but I definitely feel it's really important and appreciate all the stories that are shared in this congregation and the meaning that comes through here too. So thanks.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you to all of our speakers. May the ancestral connections you shared inspire us to remember our own, and may your journey of opening be interwoven into our own. We now have the after choir with the song, "We Shall All Be Reunited." Which James is going to sing by heart.
Yeah. This is a song that was made popular by Patty Griffin. It's a kind of gospel folk tune, and the chorus goes, "We shall all be reunited in that land beyond the sky, where there'll be no separation, no more marching, no more sighs." So if you can remember those words and you want to sing along in the chorus, please do.
Except we're in C, right?
Where is now my father's family that was here so long ago, sitting round the kitchen fireplace, brightened by the ruddy glow. We shall all be reunited in that land beyond the sky, where there'll be no separation, no more marching, no more signs. Some have gone to lands far distant, and with others made their home. Some upon the world of waters, all their lives have chose to roam. We shall all be reunited in that land beyond the sky, where there'll be no separation, no more marching, no more signs. Some have gone from us forever, for with us they could not stay. They have all dispersed and wandered, gone away, gone away. We shall meet beyond the river in that land of pure delight, where no sickness or no sorrow, will our joys there ever bright. We shall all be reunited in that land beyond the sky, where there'll be no separation, no more marching, no more signs, no more marching, no more signs.
Our closing hymn is 1001 in the Teal hymnal, Breaths. Now, Ben wondered if people, the lyrics are going to go up on the screen, but Ben wondered if people wanted, if they read music and they don't know it that much, if they wanted to take the time to get a hymn book. It is the Teal one. I think we've done this once in a while, but it's not a frequent flyer. Please rise in body or spirit.
It's the ancestors'
our chalice extinguishing, probably written by Ben since he doesn't note who wrote it. In this season, when the veil thins between the living and the dead, may you feel connected to all you love who have come before. May their spirit infuse you and infuse everything you love. May they provide you with both roots and wings. And I will extinguish the chalice now with these words. May we carry in our hearts the glow of love, the light of truth, the fire of commitment, and the power of transformation. And I just want to remind you that the humanist discussion is right here at noon, SAGM next week. And there's also a spirit circle at 4 o'clock, which is also in here today. And Faith is going to have something to say about something.
Next week is our semi-annual general meeting, and as is our tradition, before the meeting and after the service, we provide a soup lunch. And in order to do that, we need soup, and we need rolls, and we need some sweets. So I'm hoping that some of you will step up and offer to make a pot of soup, or make some cookies, or buy some cookies, or bring some rolls, or whatever, to make this a nice lunch before the meeting. Thank you. Let me know. Is that even on?